Interesting, isn't it, to know with the ex-royals that are Harry and Meghan, because they've put their truth out now, if you like, their version of events. And of course, they've been blasted throughout the media for all these tissue of lies, and we don't even need to say allegedly on that point. People are basically offering, point blank information about what's not true regarding their narrative, their story. You would have thought that someone big like Netflix may have considered that, but perhaps, they really just don't care. They want to get their return back, their money. After all, they've shelled out a considerable amount of money for seemingly something that is a dollar store soap opera, isn't it? I mean, it really is, incredibly trashy when you think, what were the big revelations? What were the stakes that were so high that Meghan Markle claimed it would be worth hearing their version of events, right? You couldn't make this stuff up, could you? But of course, if you're Harry and Meghan, the thing that you really need, the thing that you want around you is validation, and it comes none bigger than those that you're normally associated with, the people that you've cultivated. I mean, let's not forget that Harry and Meghan, as we found out directly from some celebrities, were invited to their celebrity wedding, even though they'd never met them before. That's how much, it meant to Meghan to be associated with the right people, even ditching members of her own family, whichever version of events she wishes to put out. But you see, when you've produced something as big as this, and you've dropped these alleged bombshells about all sorts of things within the family that you claim to hate but will not give up the titles fast enough for, because after all, that's the money-making thing, isn't it? The Duke and Duchess, they love being titled that, don't they, when they pick up those awards? Meghan used it on her ill-fated book, The Bench. Even that failed to sell. But what's really interesting here is, and I've been told by a very good source working alongside those royals, they think that, they have it all nailed down with their NDAs. But of course, staff do get fed up. Staff do talk to people. And one of the bigger problems now that Harry and Meghan have is truly this. They felt that they would have had an avalanche of support on social media. We're not talking about the usual people, the squaddies as they call themselves. We're talking, of course, about people with some validation. Perhaps Sir Elton John, perhaps the Obamas. Where was Gayle King apart from self-promoting herself back on CBS in the morning show? Nowhere to be seen. Oprah Winfrey, who made a fortune on the back of that interview with Meghan and Harry, nothing there from validation. Now, one might say that, of course, the Obamas don't want to rock the boat because they are hopeful and look set to receive an invite to the coronation next year of King Charles III. Many people in the higher echelons will not want to offend the British monarchy on the back of what many are deeming a cheap reality show. But you have to think of it in the other perspective. Where does that truly leave them now? Because if they don't have supporters publicly, like Tyler Perry, and indeed what happened to the NBC chat show host that was so desperate to get the money, who was gushing about them? Seemingly he's now lost interest too. So as this really truly unfolds, it's quite a sad state of affairs, because when you think about it, what they needed now were people on their side, particularly on the other side of the Atlantic. And of course, when you hold bigger cards, like over here with the forthcoming coronation, most people are looking towards that, rather than, of course, things that have gone on beyond and before, now seemingly over many years ago. Now that truly is a spectacle, as Meghan Markle likes to call it. Where are the friends? And according to a very good source, Harry and Meghan are left bereft at the lack of online support. The support, of course, online that they don't read, because after all, it's toxic, right? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.